Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us today. We're going to welcome in our friends tuning in also on Amazon Live for our repeat guest that we have for today. But she has, once again, some new projects that she's released since the last time she's on with us. And so we're excited to be able to have her back with us. And we're live now on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books, I'm sure I've missed one or two, by our next guest. Dr. Velma Bagby is back with us today. She's an Amazon best-selling author of the Catch series. You all can see the first book here, but she has a lot of other books out there too, including Hold Your Head Up, Princess. You all can see here, Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis, and she just released a brand new book called Following Esther's Process to Purification, Restoration, and Purpose in 30 Days. We're going to talk to her about all of that, but what's been like for her to speak to different audiences, to share her expertise, but also she's gearing up for something very big beginning in 2026. Dr. Velma, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, Cyrus, for having me. That's a really exhaustive recap. I had to breathe while you were telling everybody about it. It's been a lot.
It has been a lot, and I didn't even mention the book Dr. Velma Talks that goes along with Dr. Velma Talks, the podcast as well. So, Dr. Velma, let's begin there. Here we are kicking
Okay.
off a brand new month in November. You just came off November 1st, having your first virtual conference that you were just able to have. Talk to us about you. Have you been able to take a breath and kind of take in all you've done just in this year?
Sometimes the breath I take has to be daily. Today, just
Mhm.
before this, my husband and I got out and had our Starbucks date. That's a breath
Okay.
for me to
Yeah.
go and just drive. And we purposely passed a couple of Starbucks on the way to get to the one we really like. So it's a journey, and it,
Yeah.
it feels like we're getting away, taking a moment. And sometimes we'll just park across the street from the event and just enjoy our coffee. So
Yeah.
those are moments that I really enjoy. Just so the taking a breath doesn't have to be a long period of time, just a moment where you just step back and just enjoy and relax and take in the scenery, all of that.
Yeah. That is a really good point, Dr. Verma. I have made that a 2026 project. I'm not even gonna lie and say it's gonna happen before the end.
Yeah.
To take more time to do that. I'm not very good at that. But I do want to because I have done a lot myself
Yeah.
and I don't take the time to really take it all in and to really I'm
Hmm.
normally on to the next thing. But I do want to begin this conversation what may seem like in an interesting place, and that is with this book.
Yes.
Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis. Because quite honestly, Dr. Bama, if we think about it, if it was not for this book and what you share, none of these other books would have even happened. So I want to
No.
talk about that. What has it been like for you to find your voice, but also to use your voice to speak about all these things that matter to you?
It was important to know you have a voice in the first place because many people
Right.
don't realize they do. We're so busy working in the job that we've been given to do, carrying the voice of the employer, without inserting our opinion. It's always what the employer wants. So it's their voice that you carry, just like me, 38 years. I had the corporate voice. And that's why this book was so important to me because I recognize and have met other people that were in the same place I was in, leaving a place where you carry the voice very well for the corporation. Okay, so now what is it that you have to say? How do
Yeah.
you want to say it? And who's your audience? And what should you do? And
Mm.
how do you want to say it? There was a lot of those questions I faced, and I recognize that there are other people facing the same thing, Cyrus, and it
Yeah.
surprised me. But now that we're in an environment that we're in where so many people are getting laid off,
Yeah.
leaving corporate, so what do you do now? Maybe it's time for you to discover your own voice and
Yeah.
move in that direction.
Yeah. I love that. And I think it's such a great thing. And I think it's great to have examples of that. And what I love about, I talk about in my world, Dr. Bama, I feel so blessed to be able to play in what I call different sandboxes. I get to
Okay,
go over here and draw and paint, and I get to go over here and write, and I'm
that's true.
able to talk about different products, and I'm able to interview interesting people like you. So I don't have to choose. What has that been like for you in the books that are in front of us? You're also sharing that you don't have to choose. How much freedom has that given you to know you can write about anything you want to write about?
Sometimes I'm writing about it. Sometimes I'm singing about it.
Mm,
My phone is full of songs I've written. I just have not done anything with them. But just like what you talked about with painting and the other arts that you have the ability to draw upon and your skills and expertise, I have yet to tap into that. But I'm grateful for the fact that these other topics have come out thanks to your encouragement, but it made me realize I have so much more to offer, and I'm going to be looking at how I can begin to do that.
I love that. Now, you got to be known by many people because of this book. In fact, this is the book that
Yeah.
brought us together. I just got a message today from Angela Anderson. She was congratulating me on the Guinness World Record accomplishment. And so that's actually who connected the two of us,
Yes,
Dr. Velma,
yes.
in the very beginning with the book here, The Catch No One Wants. I'm going to highlight it for our audience over here. So I want to talk about that because it kind of ties into what you've done with Dr. Velma Talks. It even has a connection to your new book that you have as well, following Esther's process as well. Talk to us about what was the seed for you that kind of started this novel, The Catch No One Wants.
That goes back to me discovering my voice. And that is, I felt as I prayed about what was my next step, I felt God led me to write about dating and relationships because I recognize the fact that people are always excited about getting married and want to rush down the aisle, but they don't take the time to prepare themselves. And so I felt led to talk about it more because marriage really starts way before you meet the person, way
Yeah.
before you march down the aisle. There's so much that you have to do in preparing yourself for that event. And when I recognized that's what I needed to do, then the next hurdle I had to overcome, okay, how do I present it? Because I tried, my first book was nonfiction based on conversations with my own daughters who asked me about men and how do you know how do you navigate those waters. But when I recognized I needed to talk more about what I had to say and go in depth with what I had to say, I recognized that I didn't want to write nonfiction. I wanted it to touch and resonate with everyday people, even the person who may not be familiar with scripture or what God said, so that it touched them through the stories. And that's why I decided to go with fiction based on how Jesus wrote the parables. He wasn't trying to intimidate anybody or hit you over the head with what you were or were not doing. He simply wanted to tell a story and help you to see what you were doing, see where you are in that moment, and then give you tools in that story for you to make a decision if that's what you choose to do. Because he didn't hang around and say, okay, what are you going to do now? He didn't do that. He told those stories and left it up to the person. So that's how I wanted to write the book. And I was really shocked with the responses I got. It was overwhelming in the beginning.
Mm. And I love that. And, I can, this book resonated with me so much, even though I have no interest in this point of dating or being
Mhm,
married. The story of Grayson and Veronica, though, stays with me, though. And it's a
mhm.
testament to you, Dr. Bell, and the way that you wrote these characters and how you wrote this series. I have the other books in the series here with me. So for those who have not gotten them, there is also The Wrong Catch. The Wrong Catch, She'll Tear Down the House as well. And then, of course, there is the nonfiction book, too. You all can see here the Catch Book of Fools, too. All of those for you all joining us on the Amazon side. All of these are in the carousel. You can be able to get there. So, Dr. Velma, that's a great tie-in, and we're building up here to how you're starting off 2026. That's a great tie-in to Dr. Velma Talks, the podcast. So, talk to us about that because you have two podcasts. You have Dr. Velma Talks that more
Mhm.
deals with the issues like the Cat series, but then
Yes.
you have also Finding Your Voice that is more general. So, talk to us about the podcast and what it's been like for you to have that platform to talk more about marriage, dating, and God's view of relationships.
I recognize that you can't put everything in a book. Sometimes there are
Yeah,
conversations you want to have and topics you want to address that were not in the book. And so maybe you want to expound upon something you said in the book because it's kind of limited in what you can say and how you can say it. But it's
yeah.
a wonderful way in the podcast to go deeper and to have conversations around some of the things that you talk about, even the things you hint at, you can go into more detail. So it's exciting, exciting. I have people that are following, signed up to be notified when the podcast is live. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for those who began to follow me.
Mhm. And so that leads to your latest release here, Dr. Bam. I'm going to share my screen because I bought the Kindle edition here, but it also is available in print. And that is Following Esther's Process to Purification, Restoration, and Purpose in 30 Days. This book just came out last month. What is it that inspired this particular book?
This particular book, I had been hearing a lot about people putting so much stock in the Esther story and how she prepared for marriage. And I thought, okay, let me take a look at this and see what I can say about it. Maybe do a deep dive about what Esther's story really means. And in my study, I discovered the fact that it really wasn't about the marriage. It
Mm,
was really about her. And
mm,
no man is interested in your past and your issues. They're not going to have an interview with you about you whether or not you dealt with the past and past hurts. That's not what it's going to be about. The only person that's interested in your letting go of past things is God himself. So
yeah.
that's the true king. So you're really cleaning up your life, cleaning up your walk for him. So purification is a picture of a person cleaning up their life and making it better because that's what you should do. It's not for another person. It's because that's what God expects. And the second half is restoration. That's when you reconnect with who you need to reconnect with. And God is a God of relationships. You have to have a relationship with him even before you consider someone else. And so that's where it started. And as I began to do that, it just really opened my eyes to a lot about that story because it's really about symbolism. It's not about actuality. Her goal was to save her people. That's what she was there to do. But there was so much more in how she prepared herself that we can learn from.
Mm. So, where do you see this particular book, Dr. Velma, falling in what you've written previously? Because you have written and I've also mentioned, I'll highlight it for our
Mhm.
audience too. You have the book also, Dr. Velma Talks. I'm highlighted it there that you kind of deal with these topics too.
Right.
As you said, this one is different in that it wasn't just about her preparing herself
Mhm.
for a man. How do
Yeah.
you kind of see where this book falls into the other books you've written?
The conversation I've had for the last 10 years is not about you finding or discovering that person. It
Mhm.
has always been embracing who you are first. And
Yeah,
so many, male and female, have not done that yet. And so
right,
if you haven't embraced who you are, what's the point? What are you going to offer the person?
right.
Nothing much. And so it's important. And so it laid it out very easy for me, the
Mhm.
whole conversation around getting you together first. And then the priority is to make sure you're together with God first, because all of the work that she did was related to her relationship with the king, the true king.
Love that. For those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon, but also we are simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Dr. Velma Bagby is back with us today. You guys know her as an Amazon best-selling author. She's a marriage counselor, also coach. We're talking with her about a very busy year, very busy quarter already, and we're just in the second month of it. She's released a new book. We were just talking about there, Following Esther's Process to Purification, Restoration, and Purpose in 30 Days. You also, as I mentioned, Dr. Velma, you begin
Mhm.
November with this conference. So I want to talk about that.
Yes,
Um, hard to believe that was just 3 days ago, 4 days
I
ago.
know.
So talk to us about the conference, Dr. Velma. What inspired it, and what was it like for you to have speakers like Melissa Banks and Tracy Glass join
Oh,
you on this journey?
those stars that I had on the panel,
Mhm.
those women are stars in their own right. Phenomenal, great presenters, and their messages are so powerful. I already told Melissa we're working on a book. That story of yours need to be told, and more than just at the conference, but it needs to be written and shared with the world. And so that's my commitment to her, to help her put it all in written form. And then Tracy and she and I met when I lived in that same city. Didn't live that far from each other, and we met at the local Starbucks and began talking and just developed a relationship from there. As I prepared and prayed about the conference, God put Tracy's name on my heart. I had already asked Melissa. She said, "You want me on it?" I said, "I sure do." And I was so excited because each of them, even though they had their individual presentations, I can hear what I've talked about the last 10 years
Mm,
in what they presented. They presented and told it in a different way. They had other insights. Tracy had the 5 steps of a relationship, which I loved. All of that came together, and I said it was as if they were talking for me
wow.
because they said exactly what needed to be said. Melissa focused on preparing yourself, how she embraced and left what she had to deal with and embraced who she was. Focus on building Melissa Banks, discovering who Melissa Banks is.
Yeah.
And boy, has she excelled in creating who Melissa Banks is. And I love the fact that she was my um, event planner in that whole process. She walked with me side by side in preparing for that conference.
Mhm.
Tracy, same thing. She discovered what God had given her. She discovered after a broken marriage that you can then discover a happy life beyond that. But she had to put in the work. She had to get rid of the hurt and be healed of all the things she experienced in that relationship. So everything they talked about was right on point and needed to be shared and heard.
It's so interesting when you were just talking just now. I thought about a biblical account that doesn't get a whole lot of attention, and it has to do. And it's funny. I had not thought about this until you started talking, and that was the fact that you have someone like Nabal,
Yep.
and who was not the best person,
Mhm.
had done well for himself, but
Mhm.
was described as being foolish, even
Yep.
later by his wife.
Yep.
And when you mentioned Tracy, I don't know why this just came to me that, it's like Tracy was able to come out of one situation to another. Nabal's wife did as well. She ended up being the
Yeah.
wife of David,
David. Yeah.
after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was just funny when you were that had not come to me before until you were just talking, and I thought about that.
That's so true.
But I do think that's an interesting thing. So for those who may have missed it, the conference was "How do you know you're ready?" You can be able to watch it on Dr. Velma's page for sure. But Dr. Velma, you made some news once again
What?
at the end of the conference by
Oh,
announcing that you look. She did so much, even she didn't forget.
no. I'm thinking, okay, wait. I didn't make the Guinness Book of World Records, did I?
No, but you did announce a new series that you're
Yes.
starting in January following Esther's process, purification,
Yes.
restoration, and purpose in 30 days. Talk to us about this new part of Dr. Velma Talks and what you're looking forward to in season 3.
So it's a perfect segue to season 3. It's to continue conversations around the topic. But this time, I'm inviting those both single and married because remember, I had to do a reset after I got married to my husband. Both he and I did a reset. And that was all a part of this process too. Looking
Mhm,
at the things that we need to, oh, something's my, looking at the things that we need to get rid of that's in the way of us continuing to grow and
mhm.
become stronger. We did that as well. So
Yeah,
this is open to singles as well as married women who want to come in. I'm not going to exclude men either because let me tell you, when I found out I had a little pool of men following this conversation, I wrote that third book for them. So
yeah,
I want to make sure it's open to anybody who wants to come in and have dialogue around each step, each week, dealing with one segment of the book. Now it's 30 days, so that means we'll be doing this for 30 weeks. We'll
yeah.
start with week 1 with the first day and deal with what it talks about and what it is we need to do in that place. So if you want to do better, get better, be better, this is the opportunity for you.
Love that. And so you'll be able to catch that on Dr. Velma's YouTube and her social media as well. So, Dr. Velma, a big way to start off 2026 as we're wrapping up this year, though. What else are you excited about?
I'm excited about, first of all, I didn't realize I released 6 books this year. I'm I was like, that made me sweat just looking. I needed to take a deep breath just watching that.
Uh,
But I'm just excited about what I can look back on. I have a
yeah.
couple of projects that I'm working on just supporting other people who need
Mm,
to step into this realm. So I'm excited to slow what I have to do down a little bit until it picks up in January and
mm.
work with them on their projects. And so that's what I'm excited about. And then I'll see what my publicist has to say because he may have a whole list of other things too.
Well, look,
So
I was thinking that about your publicist when you said slow down. I thought that's what she thinks.
I know when I say that, I should say not slow down, but breathe.
Yeah. And B, hello to you over there on Facebook.
Hi,
Good to be able to
Melissa.
see you as well. And well, I'm excited to see what's coming up next, Dr. Velma. So many great
Yeah,
things. Again, that's why I had all these different books strategically put here to let our audience know. And Dr. Velma and I have talked about this. I want people to know she is not just a one note. She doesn't just talk about one thing. She's available for speaking in different topics on the different
absolutely.
topics you all see here. She's available
Absolutely.
for conferences in these different topics that you see here.
Woohoo!
So she's more than just someone who talks about dating, marriage, and relationships. She really is there for those who have corporate clients. She's there for those who need some motivation and inspiration. And that's the great
Yes.
thing about the book she's put together. And I'm so glad to be able to help her spread the word. So, Dr. Velma, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
I'm on all the social media platforms as Dr. Velma Bagby. So feel free to reach out. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel as Dr. Velma Bagby, as well as subscribe to my website, drvelmabagby.com.
Love it. Dr. Velma, always a pleasure having you on. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you, Cyrus. It's been a pleasure.
Always is. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, y'all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Take care.